Hi, my name is Kai Cobabe, and I am submitting my Outdoor Learning Area Eagle project at Prisk Elementary School for your consideration for the Glenn A. and Melinda W. Adams Eagle Project of the Year Award. I recognized the area I used as a potential Eagle project back in 2018 when I was ending my 8th grade year. At the time, it was being used as a storage area, but my roots with this project go back much further than that. When I was an elementary schooler at Prisk, the area was in good enough condition to be used for an outdoor learning area, but we did so rarely, as it was primarily only used when classes were going to the adjacent California Native Garden, though we did enjoy doing our work in the area when we had the opportunity. Come 2018, when I was ready to begin work on my project and the area had been dedicated to storage, I brought the concept up to the principal, who explained that the new science teacher was looking to have an outdoor teaching space to teach multiple outdoor lessons he had in mind. With that, I found out what desires the science teacher had for an outdoor classroom and developed my project plan, which originally included 3 tables, 8 benches, and a shed with a 6 by 8 foot footprint. I began developing the plan for the project on my own, but I soon realized with the scope of my project that I would need some help from an Eagle mentor. I chose one within my troop, and on the first night we met, we were discussing possible designs for the shed. He showed me a shed he had constructed in his backyard, explaining that he sided it in Trex decking to make it waterproof and ensure it wouldn't rot from the inside out. When I showed an interest in that idea, he explained that he had hundreds of extra deck boards sitting in his warehouse that he would be willing to donate to my Eagle project. With the major donation of 205 Trex deck boards, which altogether was worth $10,000 at the time they were donated, I was able to increase the scope of my project. As I only needed a few boards for the shed, I decided to implement a 22 by 32 foot deck, removing a tripping or slipping hazard presented by the gravel that was in the area at the time, and creating a gravel border around the deck, complete with French drains where necessary, to drastically improve the drainage in the area and prevent it from flooding. With the boards we still had left over, we were able to upgrade the rotting redwood slats on the arbor into much more sustainable Trex slats. With a great idea of the project I wanted to carry out and how I wanted to do it, I continued revising my proposal and constructing my model until it was up to the standards that my Eagle mentor and Scoutmaster believed that our council had. I got in contact with my beneficiary, who is the principal, and scheduled a meeting with her and the LBUSD maintenance manager, who had to approve the entire project and supervise all on-site work. By the time the principal got back to my email, however, the first major shutdowns associated with the COVID-19 pandemic had been placed into effect, and I was unable to meet with both of them until a much later date, as despite certain COVID orders being progressively lifted both state and nationwide, the school systems followed different guidelines. Once I got my project proposal approved, I created a GoFundMe page online and sent emails requesting donations to my troop and to my family, as well as posting the link to the GoFundMe on social media. When it came time to purchase materials for my project, nearly a year into the COVID-19 pandemic, I came to find, just as many did, that prices on materials had skyrocketed from what I had originally budgeted for. Some items such as redwood 2x4s costing nearly twice as much as originally budgeted. I was able to overcome this increase thanks to the vast amount of support I received from the community, my troop, my family, and the school itself. With the school shutdowns during COVID-19, having access to an outdoor learning area greatly promotes social distanced learning, as it is much easier to socially distance outside than in the classroom. Due to COVID-19, students nationwide were forced onto online school for the remainder of the 2020 school year and most of the 2021 school year. So, because of this, the new goal in mind was for all teachers on campus to be able to use this area and teach their class any subject they had in mind. Even now, when masks are no longer required in Long Beach schools and social distancing guidelines have been relaxed since the project's completion, it still serves as a pristine, on-campus outdoor learning environment, and as multiple studies have shown, outdoor education increases overall performance in school, overall child development, and overall physical, mental, and social health in young students. Because we were unable to get on site due to aforementioned COVID problems, I began holding off site workdays. My grandma was generous enough to open up her home to host these off site workdays where we constructed the benches and tables. She also let us store the materials and other necessary components of the project in her garage until the project's completion. Once LBUSD relaxed their guidelines enough for me to start having work days on site, I began to have on site days dedicated to the arbor, shed, and deck construction. Despite the work days being subject to the LBUSD maintenance department being able to provide a representative who was willing to work a whole day of overtime, I had many volunteers in my troop and elsewhere at the ready to help with just a few days' notice, and with that we overcame this constant issue. Throughout my whole project, I had many things that went well and a few things that went wrong to create the beautiful result I ended up with. The offsite bench and table building days went very smoothly, and I enjoyed watching as my team started laying the colored paint onto the bench boards as I had asked them. Seeing those colors laid onto the boards gave me an idea for something else I could do on the project in my spare time between workdays. When the beneficiary signed my proposal, she requested that a ninth bench be added to the project for the teacher to sit on. When it came down to it, the ninth bench would have been brown, but I felt that it didn't fit with the other more colorful benches. So on top of the brown coat of paint, I splattered the boards and legs of the benches with all the other colors of paint that we had, creating the teacher bench, otherwise known as the party bench, which still remains one of my favorite parts of the entire project. When we moved to on-site days, the first things I had my team do were remove the roof slats from the top of the arbor and remove everything being stored in the area, as well as the trash and debris that also littered the area and the gravel that was covering the whole floor. When all was said and done, we discovered a large crack caused by a tree root in the asphalt that spanned the entire outdoor learning area and created an unlevel surface for the deck to be laid across, as well as the fact that the arbor was in much worse condition than inspected the last time I was able to be on site. To overcome these things, I added another member to the French drain construction team so that that section of the project would still be completed efficiently and effectively. As well as that, I sent my dad and one of my volunteers who owned a truck to the hardware store to purchase the necessary arbor pieces that had to be replaced. The day we broke the French drain still was my favorite day of the project nonetheless, as I had 24 people volunteer to help me for most of the day, so I was able to have 4 separate teams working on separate tasks at once, which greatly progressed the French drains, arbor, and shed. The final product that the culmination of all these successes, problems, and their solutions has resulted in is far beyond what I imagined when I first started planning this project back in 2018. Thanks to the support I received from my troop, my parents, my Eagle mentor, my Scoutmaster, and my family throughout this whole project, I was able to transform my original vision into something much greater. And even my greater vision didn't measure up to the result my volunteers under my leadership were able to produce. I am proud to have led the 54 different people who had a hand in this project across 15 days, totaling 1,737 man-hours to provide a sustainable, wheelchair-accessible, and altogether attractive outdoor learning area to the students of Prisk Elementary School, and it would not have been possible without every single one of them and all those who contributed monetarily. I wanted to find a way to dedicate the project to everyone who helped on it, and my mom offered to take on the task herself. On our first on-site day of the project, we found an old table that didn't look so great, but was very structurally sound. My mom sanded, painted, and lacquered the table, on top of which she painted the hands of the volunteers who were also Prisk alumni, and each put over 25 hours of work into this project. Upon presentation of the final product to the principal, she told me that it was more stunning than she and the administration could have imagined, and that it has been in great use since the project's completion. Teachers have taken classes out for assorted lessons, the science teacher has had multiple outdoor science lessons, and the area was even used to host an after party following the school's annual fun run. Throughout my time in scouting, I watched many great scouts achieve the rank of Eagle through hard work as leaders in our troop and as leaders on their Eagle projects. This motivated me to become a leader and an Eagle in the first place and helped model my leadership style as I took on higher positions such as patrol leader and senior patrol leader. Those two things, along with my time in those aforementioned positions, prepared me to take on my original project scope, which some considered to be a large project, and continue adding components to it to create the highest quality project I could manage with the extra resources at my disposal. One of the most important leadership skills I learned and refined throughout this whole project is the ability to separate people into teams with a competent team leader at the head of it, so tasks can be divided out among a large group of people, and said large group of people can be managed effectively and efficiently. I look forward to sharing this with other scouts working in leadership positions and working on their Eagle projects, and I hope that in trying to be a role model throughout my time in scouting, that I have had a positive impact on younger scouts in the way older scouts' influence has impacted me. Since my Eagle project's completion, I have assisted multiple Eagle candidates in revising their Eagle proposals before talking to our Scoutmaster, and I hope to be an official Eagle mentor someday soon to come. Thank you so much for your consideration of my Eagle project for the Glenn A. and Melinda W. Adams Eagle Project of the Year Award.